Good evening and welcome back to another late episode of The Longing, where today we are, as you may have guessed, going to be continuing to read Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Book 4. So, let's get going. Chapter 79. The Drunken Song. 1. Meanwhile, one after another had gone out into the open air, and into the cool, thoughtful night. Zarathustra himself, however, led the ugliest man by the hand, that he might show him his night world, and the great round moon and the silvery waterfalls near his cave. There they at last stood still beside one another, all of them old people, but with comforted brave hearts and astonished in themselves that it was so well with them on earth. The mystery of the night, however, came nigher and nigher to their hearts. And anew Zarathustra thought to himself, "Oh, how well do they now please me, these higher men!" But he did not say it aloud, for he respected their happiness and their silence. Then, however, there happened that which in this astonishing long day was most astonishing. The ugliest man began once more, and for the last time, to gurgle and snort. And when he had at length found expression, behold, there sprang a question plump and plain out of his mouth, a good, deep, clear question, which moved the hearts of all who listened to him. "My friends, all of you," said the ugliest man, "what think ye, for the sake of this day? I am for the first time content to have lived mine entire life. And that, I testify, so much is still not enough for me. It is worth while living on the earth. One day, one festival with Zarathustra hath taught me to love the earth. Was that life? Will I say unto death? Well, once more. My friends, what think ye? Will ye not like me say unto death, was that life? For the sake of Zarathustra, well, once more." Thus spake the ugliest man. It was not, however, far from midnight, and what took place then, think ye? As soon as the higher men heard his question, they became all at once conscious of their transformation and convalescence, and of him who was the cause thereof. Then did they rush up to Zarathustra, thanking, honouring, caressing him, and kissing his hands, each in his own peculiar way, so that some laughed and some wept. The old soothsayer, however, danced with delight, and though he was then, as some narrators suppose, full of sweet wine, he was certainly still fuller of sweet life, and had renounced all weariness. There are even those who narrate that the ass then danced, for not in vain had the ugliest man previously given it wine to drink. That may be the case, or it may be otherwise. And if in truth the ass did not dance that evening, there nevertheless happened then greater and rarer wonders than the dancing of an ass would have been. In short, as the proverb of Zarathustra saith, what doth it matter? 2. When, however, this took place with the ugliest man, Zarathustra stood there like one drunken, his glance dulled, his tongue faltered, and his feet staggered. And who could divine what thoughts then passed through Zarathustra's soul? Apparently, however, his spirit retreated and fled in advance, and was in remote distances, and as it were, wandering on high mountain ridges, as it standeth written, twixt two seas, wandering twixt the past and the future as a heavy cloud. Gradually, however, while the higher men held him in their arms, he came back to himself a little, and resisted with his hands the crowd of the honouring and caring ones, but he did not speak. All at once, however, he turned his head quickly, for he seemed to hear something. Then laid he his finger on his mouth and said, "Come." And immediately it became still and mysterious round about. From the depth, however, there came up slowly the sound of a clock bell. Zarathustra listened thereto, like the higher men. Then, however, laid he his finger on his mouth the second time, and said again, "Come, come, It is getting on to midnight. And his voice had changed, but still he had not moved from the spot. Then it became yet stiller and more mysterious, and everything hearkened, even the ass, and Zarathustra's noble animals, the eagle and the serpent. Likewise the cave of Zarathustra and the big cool moon and the night itself. Zarathustra, however, laid his hand upon his mouth for the third time, and said, "Come, come, come. Let us now wander. It is the hour. Let us wander into the night." 3. Ye higher men, it is getting on to midnight. Then will I say something into your ears, as that old clock bell saith it into mine ear. As mysteriously, as frightfully, and as cordially as that midnight clock bell speaketh it to me, which hath experienced more than one man, which hath already counted the smarting throbbings of your fathers' hearts. Ah, ah, how it sigheth, how it laugheth in its dream, the old deep, deep midnight. Hush, hush, then is there many a thing heard, which may not be heard by day. Now, however, in the cool air, when even all the tumult of your hearts hath become still, now doth it speak. Now is it heard, now doth it steal into over-wakeful nocturnal souls. Ah, ah, how the midnight sigheth, how it laugheth in its dream. Hearest thou not how it mysteriously, frightfully, and cordially speaketh unto thee, the old deep, deep midnight? O man, take heed. 4. Woe to me, whither hath time gone? Hath I not sunk into deep wells? The world sleepeth. Ah, ah, the dog howleth, the moon shineth. Rather will I die, than say unto you what my midnight heart now thinketh. Already have I died. It is all over. Spider, why spinnest thou around me? Wilt thou have blood? Ah, ah, the dew falleth, the hour cometh, the hour in which I frost and freeze, which asketh and asketh and asketh, who hath sufficient courage for it? Who is to be master of the world? Who is going to say, "Thus shall ye flow, ye great and small streams"? The hour approacheth, O man, thou higher man, take heed. This talk is for fine ears, for thine ears. What saith deep midnight's voice indeed? 5. It carrieth me away, my soul danceth. Day's work, day's work. Who is to be master of the world? The moon is cool, the wind is still. Ah, ah, have ye already flown high enough? Ye have danced. A leg, nevertheless, is not a wing. Ye good dancers, now is all delight over. Wine hath become lees, every cup hath become brittle, the sepulchres mutter. Ye have not flown high enough. Now do the sepulchres mutter. Free the dead. Why is it so long night? Doth not the moon make us drunken? Ye higher men, free the sepulchres. Awaken the corpses. Ah, why doth the worm still burrow? There approacheth the hour. There boometh the clock bell, there thrilleth still the heart, there burroweth still the woodworm, the heartworm. Ah, ah, the world is deep. 6. Sweet lyre, I love thy tone, thy drunken, ranunculine tone. How long, how far hath come unto me thy tone, from the distance, from the ponds of love. Thou old clock bell, thou sweet lyre, every pain hath torn thy heart, every father's pain, forefather's pain, thy speech hath become ripe. And with that, we have come to the end of the episode. Like that. There we go. So I will say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.